Hello, everybody. I want to welcome you to our second town hall, episode number 2. It's a pleasure to have you here. We're joined with Bill Thomas of Compass Games. And before we get started with today's broadcast, which is all for you, I just want to cover the basics that we'll do every time we have our town hall meeting. So let me just take a moment to share my screen with you. And just want to point out
I gotta try to unmute it. You'll keep it muted.
let's see if I'm back now. All right. Can you hear me okay, Bill?
Oh, so it was you, not me?
My computer actually was not an internet problem at all. My browser froze. So I'm afraid to do screen sharing right now because I don't want to do it a second time. So I'm not going to go there. So I just want to mention again, please visit our website. On the left side of the homepage, you'll see a big yellow box, and that's our newsletter box. And please go there and we'll send you an email maybe once a week. We're not going to overburden your inbox, and we'll give you the latest information from Compass Games. And then also in the bottom right area of the homepage, you'll see a little talk to me animated icon. That's where we get all your questions that come in. And we've had over 30 questions submitted since we last talked, Bill. So we've had a great response with a bunch of questions from people, but obviously we're live now and we're going to be looking to take audience questions during the show. So I just want to turn it over to you and see what topic you'd like to start with before we get into any questions.
Okay, John. Well, thanks for everybody showing up and listening. I think one of the first things I want to mention is just to go over exactly the organization of Compass, because I think there's still some confusion. I just want everybody to understand how the important people and how it all comes together. Okay. I'm actually the sole owner of Compass. Okay. There's nobody, no partners, no, except my wife, but other than that, there's no owners other than myself that own Compass Games. Okay. You have John, who John's job is to project development, project manager, marketing. He does a lot of different hats. Okay. Then you have Adam Starkweather, who is an in-house designer for us. Okay. Then you have my son, Billy Thomas, who is the warehouse manager. So he manages all the warehouse people. And he's also a project manager. And then you have Julian, who is head of printing and production. Okay. Then you have Ken, who is a project manager. So those really are a quick rundown. And then I don't want to leave out my warehouse staff and all the other people that make it happen. Okay. Oh God, I almost forgot the biggest piece. My wife is the convention coordinator, the office person, the bookkeeper, and she does a lot of different stuff. She gets into proofreading. She gets into a lot of things. So my God, I can't believe I left her at last. That's not good. But she's very important as well.
You saved the best for last, Bill, with Carolyn. So there you go.
Well, I hope she thinks that way.
There you go. That was a recovery for you. That's my assist for tonight.
Yeah, I know.
Right?
I'll pay for that tonight.
Okay. So what I'd like to do is we do have questions coming in. I want to give folks a little bit more time to get their questions in. So I know there's a few topics we're going to discuss tonight. I want to see if you want to move on and maybe discuss. I know one topic we want to get to tonight is new submittals, designs, etc.
Yeah, what we're always looking for is we're always looking for new designs. Okay, whether they're paper wars or box games. So if anybody has any new designs, okay, you can email John or myself. And just so everybody, my actual email address is sales@compassgames.com. So when you go there, you're talking to me. Okay, so so we want to get some more designs. We're only, I think right now we're out about 3 years. Okay, where we've got enough product for the next 3 years. Okay, so we're always looking for things, and right, John?
Yep, I was looking. So can I add to that? Because
Especially for the magazine.
yes,
Yeah.
and I'm going to add. I've been practicing to keep my responses shorter, so that's my focus. So we're also looking for help, Bill, which you will agree with. We love play testers, proofers, etc. And I put out a call today, at least to our Facebook page, about defending America. So we're looking for 2 able-bodied play testers. This is like a final pass run through because the design is done, everything's done, but we want some clean eyes. We want some fresh eyes to look at everything. So yes, contributors are always welcome. Developers, play testers, etc. I just want to add that, and I give a shout out to all our helpers out there. Even if you're not a designer, you're a big part of our success to help serve you better.
And the good thing, since we talked about this a little bit 2-3 weeks ago, we have gotten an uptick of volunteers and people who just want to help. Okay, proofreading, anything, play testing. So I want to thank everybody, and it really helps us and helps the actual end product. But we have seen a real uptick in people who say, "Oh yeah, I'll do it," which wasn't the case for 4 weeks prior. So I want to thank everybody for offering their help.
Yeah, definitely. And then I'll actually be putting out another call for help tomorrow. Since we're speaking of helpers, we have a Vassal playtest kit that's done and ready to go for a more perfect union, which is based on the framing of the Constitution. So you're gaming actually the framers and building the Constitution and how it came together. So very much of an educational bent for sure. And we're going to be announcing and looking for any Vassal play testers for that game. So again, always looking for helpers, and we really appreciate all the help. So would you like to move on to questions, or do you want to cover any other topics?
Oh, no, let's go to questions. I think that's what we're here for.
Okay, yeah, we're here for questions, everybody. So please don't be shy at all, please. We love your questions. So first question from Dan Picaldi of No Enemies Here. Great broadcast. Thank you, Dan, for all you do to support the hobby. Bill, how do you choose who you support in terms of reviewers or people who showcase your games? What is your criteria?
Okay, here it's very basic. Up until I had a very bad experience when we did Silent War and Bitter End, okay, and our first games, and we gave a lot of review copies out, and nobody did reviews, or very few. So I was under the assumption I wasn't going to give review copies out. So I have just started to rethink that after a long time of not giving review copies out. So the criteria really is I have a set number of game review copies I'm going to give out, and that's how I do it. So I don't really have a criteria. It's only I'm limited to what I want to give out as review copies. So that, and I'm really just going through the process now of opening review copies back up to people. Okay.
Absolutely.
Did that.
Oh, yep.
But it's very limited.
So let's move on to a comment. Nice comment here from Steve. Hello, just got Pacific Tide. Love that it has a solo way of playing. And then it cuts off after that. But I know that's a big an area of focus for you, Bill, that you like to make sure we try to get into our games is solo play capabilities. And Bill is frozen. His video is frozen, but I can just rest assured and just remind everybody here that absolutely this is unrehearsed, and my browser crashed and Bill's video is down. So this is proof. Nobody will ever claim this is perfectly scripted live broadcast, but it's important to point out that we've actually had some projects where we didn't have solitaire modes or capabilities in the games at all. So just to your point, Steve, that Pacific Tide actually didn't have any type of a solitaire system to it when it was basically done. And then, you know, we had discussions, and I actually work with Gregory Smith directly, and seemed like a pretty small footprint of a game would be great to have, you know, a solo bot, if you will. So Greg was able to put one together in less than a week, and that's how that whole thing happened. Since you're a fan of Pacific Tide, we also have Oast Creek, which is based on the same system, also the same concept that you have a bot there. And we've also added solitaire modes to all these other games that we have that we're working on. So one part of the process, and if Bill's video connection, he'll be coming back, or he's trying to come back. If his video connection cooperates, I'll go ahead and talk to him a little bit about, you know, what things do we like to do with our projects to try to improve them. And that's definitely an area where we're trying to improve our projects, and that is in the area of solitaire playability. And that's really important for our games. So appreciate the question, Steve. And again, if you have any more questions, please let us know. So more solo games. Yes, absolutely. And actually, to try to make it easier for you, we're working on our new website at Compass. So we're going to be rolling out a new website, and it's going to do a better job of categorizing all our games. So it's going to have like historical eras. So you can, if you're interested in World War II, Napoleonics, you know, ancients, you'll be able to go to that historical era, and it will filter based on all those eras. But what we also want to do is we want to be able to filter by a game that's purely solitaire, you know, purely designed for solitaire. And then, of course, there's that next step down where maybe it's designed to be two-player, multiplayer, but it has a solitaire mode to it. So I was just continuing here, Bill, just to catch you up. Wonderful to have you back. Questions about having more solo games coming from Compass, and how important that is to you that the games we release have a solitary play mode to them.
Correct. Okay, I won't do a game unless it's at least solitaire friendly. Okay, and I try to make that in every game we have, because that's very important. We do have a lot of solitaire games coming out that are specifically solitaire. Okay, I know of one that I'm reviewing today or over the weekend is Devil's Boat. Okay, that's a purely solitaire game. So we do have a lot of, and he has another one in the series that he's already working on, and a third one planned. Okay, so those are all solitaire, and I know Greg does a lot of solitaire games. I know we have Western Front. We have, and these are purely solitaire. And we have Western Front and Defending America are both solitaire games. I know we're doing a deluxe version of Silent War and IJN again. Okay, so we've got a lot of pure solitaire games in the mix, but most of the games are solitaire friendly.
Great. And then let's see, just comment just came through. I just wanted to say I pre-ordered Pontiac's Rising the other day. It will arrive in January, which is insurance against not getting any games for Christmas. So well played, Joe. I like your strategy to pre-order Pontiac Uprising, so you have you'll have something by January to cover Christmas. So excellent strategy on your part. So thanks for your comment there. Meanwhile, oh yes, there's another title here that I want to mention as well. So Gregory Smith mentions this is also a very big project that's being worked on by Greg, and that's his Western Front Ace. So those familiar with Night Fighter Ace, Interceptor Ace, Greg's many other games that have like the U-Boat series to them. We've also got we did the World War I game as well that we released. We have Zeppelin Raider. So Greg's really done a lot of solitaire games. So Western Front Ace, which you can see from our website, if you just do a search on Western Front, it will come up right away. That's the largest, I think it's fair to say, Greg, that's the largest solitaire, purely solitaire game designed in that manner that also has cooperative play aspects to it. And we're definitely going to have Greg on in a future announcement for sure, because he's working all the time on new designs, etc. So absolutely, we're going to have Greg back on again. So let's see, we have some more questions. So thank you, Peter, for joining us over on Facebook. Thanks for the thumbs up on that. I'm glad you appreciate those solitaire games. Michael, yes, thank you so much. Actually, I only posted to our Facebook group. So sometimes I just go exclusive somewhere, because what's happened is Greg, and we're talking about Gregory Smith again here. So I'm picking on Greg tonight. So Greg is the designer of what? America Bomber. So hopefully you have America Bomber, because I know nearly all of you who've had a chance to play B-17 Queen of the Skies, you love that game. I mean, it's very popular, very high rating. So the follow-on is a follow-on game in that same vein, using the same sort of type of system as B-17 and America Bomber, is Defending America. And believe it or not, it hasn't been on pre-order. And we just slipped this game on you guys because it's going to go to pre-order very soon, and it's going to go into production extremely soon. So this goes back to our last episode where people were saying, you know, how does Compass get so many games out? Like, quality's got to suffer. You guys are like trying to get all these games out, right? I see it all the time. I see those comments, and you're concerned that, you know, where are all these games coming from? How can they come out? How can they be tested, etc.? But I really want to go back to that whole, you've got your tip of the iceberg. What you're seeing with our pre-order system is our tip of the iceberg. And what you're not seeing underneath is the other 95% of the iceberg, which is Greg's been working on the design. It's been thoroughly play tested. And, you know, it's a finished design now, but we just wanted to have some extra pair of eyes on it to just proof it before it goes into production. So again, yes, thanks for seeing the announcement about Defending America. We're going to try to pick 2 people that are familiar with America Bomber, because that will help us. And then hopefully you'll find maybe something we can get fixed before it goes into production. So thank you so much for that question, and welcome back, Bill. I appreciate it. I know you were just off for a moment, but we're welcome to have you back. And then here we go to another question for you, Bill. You should show the Paperwork Games some Solitaire love. So here's an excellent, we got a suggestion directly to you, and this maybe for also for our editor, of course, as well, our new editor, Ty Bomba, is will there be more Solitaire games in Paper Wars?
And that's why we're putting out that if people have designs, okay, to send them to us, because we only publish what designers give us. So I have no problem with getting more Solitaire games in Paper Wars. I want to say, I don't recall we did have one back on Thunderbirds, I think, was the only fully solitaire game we ever had in Paper Wars. But that really isn't a decision I make. It's what we have available to put in Paper Wars. So like I said, we need designs in regards to Paper Wars, and if people want to design purely solitaire games, I have no problem publishing them. So I would like that as well, to have the magazine have.
Absolutely. Yep. So excellent suggestion. And like we said, even if it's going to be 2-player, etc., and Paper Wars is usually a smaller game size, one full map, etc., you know, we'll always be looking to add solitaire capabilities if it's not a pure solitaire game. I also want to thank you, Michael, for joining over on Facebook. So happy birthday. I don't know what birthday number is coming up for you. So happy birthday. And I'm glad you're ordering yourself a copy of America Bomber as a present. And also, I think we're going to have some presents in the future, not this town hall meeting, but I think the next town hall meeting, Bill's going to do a nice giveaway. Bill, you had an idea you told me about earlier today that you're going to do a nice little giveaway prize for each town hall meeting. Is that correct? Did I read you correctly?
Yeah, what we're going to do is we're going to give a free game out, and it's going to be based on rolling of the dice, and the people closest to the dice, okay, closest to the number, will get the free game. And maybe some days we'll do more than one game.
Yeah, and we're stealing that idea from Rob Oren over on War and Pieces. He actually did that. He rolls the dice and asks you to get your numbers in before he rolls the dice. So we're going to be starting that great, fun way of doing things for our next meeting for sure. Let's see. Great question from Dan again. So who chooses the games that are being designed? So these designs you have coming in, once you get them, Bill, maybe not all of them get accepted. So who's deciding which games Compass is going to sign off on?
Yours truly, me. Okay, it's purely my decision on what games we design. I'll take input from people, obviously, but at the end of the day, I really make that decision.
So let me ask you, Bill, I'm going to sort of poke and prod at you here a little bit. Has there ever been a time, because this is the insider, this is our insider discussion with our customers we value so much. So have you ever had like a poke and prod from like your close team, your wife, Billy, where you maybe said, I don't want to really publish this, or there were questions about publishing a game and maybe they didn't quite go along with your viewpoint. Just wondering if there's any internal conflicts that have ever happened around game decisions that you make the final call on ever.
Oh, yes. Of course, there's discussion, but that's something that, yeah, there was one game that I didn't want to do. Okay. I didn't think it was going to be a good game. Okay. And I ended up doing it. Okay. And so I would say out of the one or two, and I won't say which game it is because that's not appropriate, but there's one or two games I did go with the group. And I gotta say, and I don't want to say this, I gotta say I was proved right. Then we shouldn't have done the game.
Okay. So there we go. Okay, the little insider thing there. Okay, excellent. So let's see some other questions. Great questions coming through here. Crowd's warming up, Bill. Crowd's warming up with some great questions. Thank you, Custer, for joining off of YouTube. Do you have an idea of how many wargamers are in the U.S. and then, of course, rest of the world?
Oh, I really have. I can't even guess how many. I wouldn't even want to dare to guess because I don't have any way of really judging it.
Yeah, you'd probably have to take the website e-commerce system for just, it would be just based on direct orders or where we collect mailing addresses. We obviously have the catalog where people put in addresses, but is it correct? The catalog that goes out once a year, is that to U.S. domestic only, or does the
that goes to U.S. domestic?
Right. So I know we collect important data to process orders. We have addresses, states, etc. But it's a segment, obviously, of an overall.
I wouldn't know what it is globally. I know what we do, but I wouldn't know what it is globally out there.
Yeah, excellent. And Peter was asking, where can I find the Defending America announcement? He's interested. Peter, you may have found it already because you're on Facebook right now. So if you're viewing us, so thank you for viewing us on that Facebook page. If you scroll down the page to look at the other stories, it was actually the most recent story that was posted today. It announced and showed the front and back cover for Defending America by Gregory Smith. And you'll get more information about it there. It's not on our pre-order site yet. That will be coming very soon. That's high on my task list. So thank you for that question very much. And then see what we had. And then, the word announcement. Well, that's okay. It was an announcement on Facebook, maybe not on our website. So absolutely. So great, Peter. Thank you so much, Peter, for looking at that and saying that you're all in and that you found it. Wonderful. So, Bill, I'm going to be looking for more questions from those that have joined us. We have 50 people pretty much now combined. So we have a great viewership. So please get your questions in. We can take them right away. But we did have some questions that came in via our website. So I will add a few questions now. I just won't be able to show them on screen since they didn't come in live during the broadcast. But some questions were, what's the status of Third World War series, when it might be published? So just to give you an update on that, we're doing the display cards, which are for setup and reinforcements. And then we have 4 sets of rule booklets to edit and do the layout work for. So setup displays takes about 2 months because it's 4 games. Don't forget, it's a lot of units. So we have to do proofing, etc. So that's information on that. So I would say, look for an update on that later this year. Project team's working every day on it. Questions about how we're making progress on Sandstorm. That's a World War II game, which isn't on pre-order yet, by Michael Arrighe. We are actually going to be seeing if we can appoint another developer. The developer had to drop out to the real life commitments, got too busy. So, the game is in a good condition. I don't know about from Matthias Kramer, the Weimar game. Bill, can you comment about the Weimar game from Matthias Kramer, the status of that project?
Yeah, that's being worked on. Okay. That is a good, it's slow moving. It's being still play tested, developed. Okay. That's not even in my wheelhouse at the moment.
Okay.
Okay,
And then the last one, yeah.
year and a half out.
Year and a half out for that one. Okay. And then the last question that I had from the same, from Joe Bottoms, by the way, who submitted the question. Thanks, Joe. Home Before the Leaves Fall version 2. That's a David Bolt design, which is basically much simplified version of Home Before the Leaves Fall. It's going to be a 2-mapper, but using the Great War in the East SPI quad game system with some extra Cronin layers added to it, like command rules. So that one is still being play tested and developed by David Bolt. I reached out to him earlier today because the question came in today, but I haven't heard back from David yet. So I'll probably have another update on that for our next episode. So thanks for those questions again. So we have another questions that have come in the meantime. So I'll go ahead and show that. So for you, Bill, isn't it a daunting task to have to choose any game to be printed? When do you want to have more input in choosing a game, even though you have been battling 1,000? Or batting, I'm sorry, I think that's batting 1,000, that you've got a perfect record.
Let me, I don't know about that. Okay, but let me just say, I think I did say that I do take input from all the team, okay? And they come up with some good points. I come up with good points. So I did say that it's not only, at the end, it's my final decision. Okay, but I do take input from everybody. Okay, so so it is a collaborative thing. Then somebody asked, what percentage of customers are U.S. and in the world? I would say our customer base is about 70% U.S., 30% outside the U.S. Okay, then somebody asked about Red Poppy's game. Red Poppy's 3 is actually in the warehouse, and it's all completed. It was made in U.S., and that will be out, what are we in, July, August? That should be out in August. Okay, Red Poppies 3 will be, start mailing in August. We do have Paper Wars 95 is getting ready to go in the mail as we speak. So probably next Tuesday or Wednesday will be dropped off at the post office for Paper Wars 95. Then in about 2 weeks, Brotherhood and Unity will start to mail. We have the games in the warehouse, but we had to, and here's why I don't like EU shipping, because we had to, because in that Kickstarter, we promised that we were going to do EU shipping. So I have to ship the games over to Europe. Okay, so that takes 2 to 3 weeks for them to get it. So, and I like to release the games pretty close to everybody's getting them all across the world at the same time. But Brotherhood and Unity is all done in the warehouse, and that's going to mail second week or third week of July.
Excellent. And then Michael on Facebook, thanks for joining, Michael. He's wanted to comment about the Paper War issues that we've lined up for the next 4 or 5 issues. And he says he's really looking forward to Battle for Galicia 1914 by Michael Resch. He's really looking forward to that one. So thanks for that, Michael. Yeah, well, World War I games are really popular, I'd say. We've done some recently in Paper Wars. I know we've done some other World War I titles. So
yes.
Thanks for that question. A question from Thomas, Tom Wallace over on YouTube. Thanks for joining us on YouTube, Thomas. Appreciate it. Any Vietnam games coming out?
No, I don't have any that in the hopper there. Okay. Hearts and Minds have sold very well. Okay. We're actually in the second reprinting of that. Okay. And Vietnam, Rumor of War, has sold very well too. We're almost out of that game as well. So I would love to do another Vietnam game, tactical, operational. It's just, again, that's why we're making a call to designers to see, okay, what kind of games that we can get from people.
Very true, very true. As you can see, we're definitely always interested in designs from anybody that's interested. So Robert Carroll asks, and I'll go ahead and field this question, Bill. Any development on potential topics for the next 4-pack or quad game of Brief Border Wars, or let's call it Brief Border Wars Volume 2? So yes, when we had our wonderful interview with Brian Train, and Brief Border Wars is doing very well, I can announce that we have 4 titles that Brian is looking at. So I'm going to go ahead and mention the titles, Bill, just to answer this question quickly. So the 4 titles that we're looking at or considering, and it could change, of course, is Italy versus Greece 1940, which was a 2-month campaign, number 1. Italy versus Greece, 1940. Number 2, Peru versus Ecuador, 1941. That's a 3 weeks, and also the first time use of airborne troops in the Americas. So again, Brian likes picking his cool little nuggets of unique things going on. So that's a very cool thing. So Peru versus Ecuador, 1941, both World War II titles. Next one is Second Balkan War, 1913. That one's 5 weeks. It's Bulgaria versus Greece and Serbia mostly is how to look at that one. So that's number 3, Second Balkan War, 1913. And the fourth one, if we stick with this lineup, I can't pronounce this. Oh gosh. Chenkufeng Hill, 1938. I can't pronounce that, Bill. I'm sorry. I apologize to everybody. Chenkufeng Hill, 1938. That was 1 month in duration. That was Japan versus the USSR. So what we've decided to do, and of course it's going to go through Bill for final approval, we're looking at World War I, World War II as that next grab bag of games for the next quad. And then we have a few ideas for going modern era again, post-World War II era. And I see a few titles already being mentioned that Brian's looking at. We'll save that for another day. But excellent question, and thanks for giving me a chance to go ahead and address that. So let's see if there's any other questions. Yes, Bill? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the 4 games it says mention that we're going to do for the next issue or the next game. For brief border wars?
Yes, that was a question about what would be the next. Is there any?
Go ahead and do it.
Yes,
they're approved to be done,
yeah.
So we're all set.
Okay, so folks, so this is a first, everybody. So for those watching carefully, this is how Bill operates. Okay, so I just put out some information that he didn't know anything about, really. I mean, I'm interacting with Brian Train. I did the interview, followed up and said, hey, the interview was good, but, what are we thinking for next time? So he gave me this list of games, and you can see we have an executive decision over on the right of the screen here, where Bill took all of 2 seconds that said, okay, just tell him, print the damn thing. We're going to print the damn thing. So that's how Bill works, everybody. So there we go. So, and then Custer gives a thumbs up. He likes the idea of Peru versus Ecuador, 1941, which was a 3-week campaign in duration, first use of airborne troops in the Americas. Thank you. I'll pass that on to Brian Train that you gave that a thumbs up. Excellent. So Bill, a few other questions I could throw in if you want, but I just want to see if there's anything else as far as Compass Games goes that you want to talk about. I know there's still the expo. We've got the registrations on for November. To be honest with you, I have to share the disappointing news that for me personally, we did announce today we did cancel Consom World Expo 2020. We did move the date to August, but Arizona COVID numbers have spiked. They're spiking in a lot of places. So the word is out now that there will not be a Consom World Expo in Tempe in August. First time in 20 years we can't hold the event. So my fingers are crossed that things look better for Compass Expo in November.
Yeah, one thing I want to say is Paper Wars actually, here's the, I don't know if you can see it. This is the copy of
I can see it very well. Yes.
5. And the interesting thing is, and there's a scenario, we try to put a scenario of combat in every issue. Okay, and I don't know if people really know that because combat is actually almost out of print. Okay, we only have a few copies left in the warehouse. We stopped selling to distributors. So combat is right now almost out of print. Blue Water Navy is almost out of print. Okay, any others, Bill? Interceptor Ace is almost out of print. Okay, so these games are that are combat is probably out of print other than what we got in the warehouse. I think Blue Water Navy has another few. So combat is actually going to have a second printing, okay, which will be available when we do the Combat 2, which should be by the end of the year. But in Paper Wars, we have Hannibal, which is a interesting topic. And then we have an article on Decision and Kasserine. Attrition of Souls, which is my next strategic World War I.
That's World War I. Everybody was saying last episode, how do you do so many World War I games, Bill?
And this one is an easy one. Okay, it's very it's very different. Okay, it doesn't take too long to play, and we will put it up on Kickstarter because this is one that would have a broad appeal. Okay, but this game will be out pretty soon. Then what else? We have our combat scenario.
Okay.
Right, but it's there.
Okay. Combat scenario. It's going to be in every. Now you're saying every issue we think will have a combat scenario, then, right?
Yes, we've been doing it for the last 2, I think.
Okay.
And then we have an issue about the player's guide has done.
I think we lost you there, Bill. A little bit.
Okay, but yeah, Russian besieged player. You can't hear me?
I heard you were starting to say Russia Besieged Player's Guide, right?
Yes, it's done very well. Decision in Kasserine is done very well, and Brief Warware. So there's an article about that. Okay. And then there's a CSS Boot Camp, which is Adam Stockweather's. And I think this is a good article if you have any CSS games or want to get into it, because it's really like a way to get a learner's thing into that.
For the uninitiated, CSS stands for Company Scale System, just so everybody knows. Company Scale System.
Yeah, we've got like 5 or 6 games that use that system. Yeah. Because Folder Gap uses that system.
Yeah.
And then there's our convention that we hope everybody signs up for, and we hope we can do. But right now it looks okay, but who knows what's going to happen 2 months from now. So knock on wood, we still have it.
Absolutely. So so basically, Matthew is very impressed with your executive decision making on the spot. So he gives you a thumbs up as being a strong leader. Nice to have that. So kudos to you on that, Bill. So yes, it does help. It helps me a lot personally. So for project work and the many projects that you are able to make quick decisions when questions do come up that need some guidance from you as far as what needs to be done. So yeah, I appreciate Matthew. I appreciate Bill for the same reason that you do. So thank you for that. Some more comments from our audience here from Richard on Facebook. I love the mounted maps and counters of Battle of the Bulge. I believe that's the World War II Commander by John Butterfield.
Now remember, that is made in China, okay, because it's a mounted map. So we have to, so you won't get those, you won't get that made in the US because we do, so people are aware of that.
Absolutely.
Looking forward to it. I thought Lion of Ethiopia.
Line of okay. I think there's a question in there. I think I know what you're referring to. I just have to find it. So that's yeah, right here from Jim.
Yeah,
so Jim, thank you for joining us on Facebook. Appreciate it. Your question about Italian disaster.
Yeah, Jim, I think we have a game, Lion of Ethiopia, or Lion of Judah. I'm sorry.
Lion of Judah. Yeah, so definitely. Yep, Lion of Judah, I believe, is absolutely correct. Let's see some more comments I'm going to show here, Bill, for you if you watch your screen. I've got from Martin F. For what it's worth, I think Adam's Vietnam game is great. It's a real competitor to Victory Games Vietnam. So thank you very much.
Yeah, no, they're not even close. Okay. Yeah. Gregory Smith just asked, Attrition of Souls and the upcoming Imperial Tide are 2 different games. Okay. You can't even compare the 2. Okay. So I will say that I wouldn't worry about it because they're not competitors of each other. Okay. And they'll all sell, and what will happen is Imperial Tide will probably come out after, okay, Attrition Souls, but they're just so different. Okay. Not even close to being the same game or being so I don't think that's going to affect us.
I agree. Yep, I definitely agree. So let's bring up some more questions here. Let's see from Jack. Could we get a list and a sentence or 2 for the articles that will be in Paper Wars a month or 2 in advance? So that might be more of along the lines of a Ty Bomba question, because Ty's putting together the content for the issue, which I know, Bill, you review and give guidance on. So I don't know right now if we have to come.
I think starting with Ty's issue 97, I think, right? 90, yeah. Okay, I think that's something we can do, which we couldn't do before because of whatever. But I think we could get it up where we have a table of contents because right now we put the table of contents up probably 3 weeks, right, John? 3 weeks before the game gets mailed.
Yeah,
So
I think. Yeah, I agree.
table of contents have been up there for the last 3 weeks. Okay, but I will try to, so we get them up a month ahead of time. I think we can do better and probably do 2. But if you go on our website, you can see like Hannibal's had the table of contents up for the last 3 weeks, and I agree. I think we need to do better and get it up a couple months ahead of time so people can see what to expect.
Yep, definitely. And then I want to thank Dan over on Facebook. Dan, thanks. He just ordered the Paper Wars. I'm assuming probably the subscription. So Dan, thank you so much for your support. And really, it's becoming more of a house organ, as we discussed in previous meetings with our interview with Ty Bomba. So expect to see a lot more support of Compass products and Paper Wars moving forward, more content, basically. Right, Bill?
Yes. Yeah.
Let's see some more. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Richard said CSS rules are different for every game. It seems unfortunate. Well, because they're going from topic to topic, and you go from Third World War game to a World War II game, and they are going to be different. Okay. I think there are basic core rules that stay the same, but when you're jumping from Pacific to World War II Pacific to World War II Western Front to World War II Eastern Front, now you go to Third World War, then we're going to Bar-Lev, then we're going to some other areas. I think that's what causes it to be a lot different, is we don't stay in one area, okay, very much. Okay, we're all over the place.
Yeah, excellent. And then want to thank Joel for joining us tonight over on YouTube. He's enjoying Brief Border Wars right now, Bill. So he's got it cracked open right now. He's really enjoying playing the game. He's asking for more quad games, please. This quad thing is really, I have to say, taking off since Brief Border Wars has shipped. A lot of people asking for that, Bill. I've seen a lot of emails about the same question.
I actually working on a quad game as we speak of 4 battles of the Civil War that is going to mirror off issue 96, which is Rally Around the Flag, which is Perryville and Stone River. And I've already gave the approval to do a box game of 4 additional games in that series. Okay, so that would be our second quad game. So I think I'm on the same page with a lot of people in that I like the quad games, and I've got some designs that we can use that in. So
yep. Excellent.
We're doing a Civil War.
Great. A question from Eric over on YouTube. Are mounted maps going to be 22 by 34 only? Is that the size of the...
Yeah, that's basically the size. Okay, the problem is when you start to, you can go a little bigger, but you might have to cut the map. You might have to have 2 different maps. Okay, and then the problem with that is the weight of the box will, I can't do a 2 map game, 2 mounted map game, because the weight of the box would be incredible. So yeah, basically that is the dimensions of a mounted map.
Yeah. And well, I like this name, Keksu, but I'm going to pronounce it wrong, and I don't want to offend. So I see a combat scenario in issue 93, but not 94. So we'll check that. So
I am proven wrong.
Well, that's okay, because executive decisions, you're allowed to be proven wrong by your customers, and you can.
Well, he proved me wrong, which I thought we'd be, but just so you know, we're trying to put 1 in every issue, so that's why I thought, and maybe not. Things happen. So he knows better than I do. So
all righty, there you go, audience. Customers are keeping us honest, which we love, right, Bill? So yeah. Robert has a question about he has pre-ordered Devil Boat. So thank you, Robert, for your order. Is there any update on what the potential ship date looks like? And no, this has not been addressed, Robert, yet tonight.
No, Devil's Boat is a China game. Okay, I have just received the sample, and I'm going through it and making some changes and stuff like that. So then once I give China the final approval, okay, it's probably, oh my God, it's probably 3-4 months out or before I even get the game. So it's coming. I would say hopefully I want by the end of the year, but it might slip into January.
Great. Thanks for giving him the date. So January sounds like for next year for that game. Thanks, Bill. So Joel, again, thank you, Joel, for joining us on YouTube again. So Civil War Quad, he heard what you said, Bill, about doing that. He's really excited. I think we almost can't go wrong on a quad right now, to be honest. So we'd probably have to try pretty hard to come up with a quad that people would hate, given there's really and I think they want the simpler versions of the games. They don't want overly complex games. So again, you got a thumbs up from Joel for sure. Another question, Keksu again, I'd like to see Napoleon Eagles become a series. I've really enjoyed that game.
Yeah. I pulled the designer off of another project he was doing for us, and he actually has come up with another game that's almost ready to go to print. It's called 100 Days. Okay, so that's probably maybe 2 months or 3 months from actually going to production. And he's got a few other ideas for other series in the game. So that is going to be a series.
Great. So 100 days. It's going to, and yes, to answer that question, Napoleon Eagles, thank you, Keksu. Yes, it's going to become a series and starting with 100 days. So very exciting news. Jack, definitely agree. People like the quads. They can easily play it in a reasonable time. I have to agree with that. I think people love seeing games they can actually get through quickly. So thank you so much for that. Greg says, we will. Greg's commenting, I think, to the audience here that he says, yeah, they want more designs from Gregory Smith. So in other words, Bill, as an executive here, you gotta crack the whip on Greg as a designer a bit more.
The whip on Western Front, I want Imperial Tide. I want more stuff from him. And I think he's been taking a vacation.
Oh man, how could he do that? That would be horrible.
I don't understand that.
That would not be cool. That would not be cool. Eric, yeah.
Oh, you're on.
Yeah. So Eric, thank you for joining from Facebook. He just received the Russia Besieged Player's Guide. He wants to say it's beautiful, really a work of art graphically, all the illustrations in that booklet. So kudos. He's thankful for that.
Yeah, John, I got to throw this out because I'm in the mood. Okay. Me and John are working on a project or 2 projects that are really going to be very interesting. Okay. And what these projects are they're remakes of games. Okay. But we're going back to the first edition and releasing it as the first edition, not the 4th or 5th or 6th or whatever edition, or 3rd or 2nd. Okay. And nobody knows about these 2 items. They're in the hopper, and I'm not going to say anything now, but it's going to be very interesting because these are taking the original editions of the game and not doing anything to them. Okay, and we'll put the rat in, but we're not making a new game out of it. And right, John? Yeah,
let's say that somebody contacted us who's done a bunch of stuff, and he says, I want to go back to the simpler days. I really prefer these. It's like the quad. It's like the big quad thing. I want these simpler games, right? So I want to go back to the first edition that I did before all this stuff happened, and let's release it as a original. It's called original edition game, which it was. It was the original edition, and we're bringing it back. So I think it's a great idea. For me, I love nostalgia, by the way, right? So yeah, I love that idea. Thanks for teasing everybody. The trouble, Bill, with you mentioning that, you know what that means, right? For you going there, you know what this is just. You have a live audience here of a lot of people that are going to start trying to crack the code and guess what these two games are. What these two games are. They're going to be original edition. Now everything's going to be out of control.
Correct, and that's what you need sometimes. But the funny thing is this is something where we're going to get, and I know this. See. When you go into something, you're going to get a lot of negative feedback because people are going to say to you, well, the 4th edition or the 3rd edition or the 2nd edition is a better game. I'm not even going to play the 1st edition classic. So I know all that. I know that people aren't going to want it, but you know what I say? I think it's a good idea. I want it. And I think it's going to sell to a group of people who want to go back and say, because as the games get into more editions, they get more complicated. Not that they're not better. Okay, they might be better, okay, to a certain degree. But, yeah, so that's the news for today. That I can't tell you anymore.
Oh, wow. I mean, that's pretty. I'm surprised you went there, actually.
I know, and I'm going to go. I almost went to the other thing I've been hiding back that was for the last month and 2 months, but I'm not going to say.
No, you're not. You're getting too.
This one's more. I'm going to throw this one out.
No, you're getting too comfortable on these videos right now. These town halls are not working out like I was hoping. You're getting much too comfortable with the with your customer base here, and not a good sign. So let's go to another question I saw here. It was about the African campaign. I just cannot find where it is. Martin, thank you so much, Martin, for your question on Facebook. Question is about the African campaign designer signature edition second printing. Any difference from the first printing?
Okay. I'm still up in the air on that. Okay. It will be different. There's two avenues. I can either go to China with a mountain map and do a deluxe version, okay, with mountain map, or I can go exactly with there's pros and cons to either, okay, or I can go with a reprint, which will have the corrected counters in, the errata and stuff like that in the second edition, because in the second printing, because we provided it in the first through counters that we issued, replacement counters, but I haven't made up my mind which way I'm going with that yet. But right now it's scheduled to be just a reprint.
Excellent. So let's see here. Okay. Yeah, they want me to be quiet, Bill. They want to hear you talk. So, okay, I'm going to be more careful there.
Be quiet. That's funny. Yeah, no. Attrition of Souls is way easier than Ted Racer's First World War. Not even. Oh my God! Attrition of Soul is a very low complexity game that could probably be played in 2 hours.
Yep. Okay, and then let's see a few more comments here. Is oh my gosh. Okay, so people are going now about what this game could be. See, now you've started the storm.
I know. And I could say no to Starfleet Battle. Oh, no, he didn't say Starfleet Battles. He wants it a small Ziploc.
I think he's saying the original Starfleet Battles.
Oh, no,
it's not that one. Okay, it's not that one. Okay, here we go. Richards.
No, not Squad Leader.
Yeah, I think that one's sort of, that one's with probably MMP. There's different licensing there, obviously. Yeah, so that's a no-go. Meanwhile, while people are guessing, there was another follow-up to Company Scale System. I'm trying to find, okay, so it was, oh gosh. So I think the comment was when we said the games are different, that, well, even the World War II games to CSS seem a lot, here we go, from Richard. So his follow-up to your comment, Bill, was about that to be different between Fold the Gap and World War II. Richard's making the observation, well, even the World War II games are different in the scale system as far as the rules. I can take a crack at that if you want, but I've been told I can't talk anymore, so I don't want to get somebody.
I can take a crack because it's different theaters and it was different. But you can go on. You can handle that, John.
So
John, your time's up.
Okay. Oh.
Go on.
So I was actually going to say just what you said. So yeah, because it's a different operation, it's going to be a different system. We have to add rules like amphibious landings, etc. So obviously when CSS went to, I think the first Russian front game it had amphibious rules. It had things that didn't exist before. So, things have changed, I think, in that regard, which is what you said, Bill. So see, I didn't have to say anything after all. I could have just been quiet. Okay, so next question, the next comment here for you, Bill, from Jack.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Here's the problem, okay, is if I do an update, and I'll throw this out here because I've been going around and around, me and Billy have talked about this quite a few times, is if I do a deluxe version of African campaign, okay, with mountain maps, okay, the problem is people are going to want update kits. And the problem is you're going to have a mountain map, which a mountain map costs a lot of money even in China issue. Okay. but then people are going to want to have the counters, and people. So in essence, the update kit is going to be actually the game. So the update kit is going to cost maybe $30-$40 when the actual game is going to cost $59. So that's my issue, is if I do it in China and offer an update kit, and that's why I never offered an update kit for no piece, because it didn't make sense, because the mounted board, the new counters, okay, and I think there were cards or something, it's almost the price of the whole game that's being sold, just because, again, you're talking American initially and China second, okay, does create a price.
Excellent. So thanks for that, Bill. Great response to that. And then, yeah. Sorry, you were cutting out, Bill. Didn't mean to talk over you, but your stream has stopped. So, Mark, thank you, Mark. So,
no.
So actually,
you got to stop me from spilling secrets.
Well, actually, I'm controlling Bill's internet. I'm purposely interrupting his internet feed, so he'll stop talking about secrets. That obviously, and then I still can't help it. We've got people out of control now. Now we're even got people complimenting you from going from a white shirt to a blue shirt. So it's gotten completely out of hand tonight. This is only our second episode, and things are like totally,
I know,
totally messed up. I mean, look,
I gotta say, I didn't spill the other secret.
Yeah, we're going to stop right there. And then, okay, so here we go. See what you're doing now? Tactics 2. Wasn't there an original Tactics, though? Wasn't there an original Tactics? That would be the original edition? I don't know.
No, but that's a no.
Okay, here's another one. Now Custer's up. These guys are getting out of control. Oh, GDW's Chalk Award. It's got to be that one.
No.
But that didn't go through a bunch of editions, though, right?
Oh, that didn't have new edition. These games have had numerous additions. So
don't say too much. Don't say that. These guys are smart, and ladies. These guys and ladies here are very smart. Okay, yes. About when you say that, they're gonna catch on really quickly. Oh my gosh. Okay, follow-on question. I got to stop, Bill. Jack Staleka. So, as a more general follow-up question to the African campaign, can we purchase individual game? Oh, great question. Great question. Can we purchase individual game components, like only a map or only counters? Great question, Jack.
Yeah. Okay. I assume he's talking about if we go to China and do the mounted maps.
Let's answer it both ways, Bill. Maybe let's answer this both ways, not just for African campaign.
Okay. You can always buy any of our games. Just email me at Sales Compass if you want to buy extra components. I think what Jack's saying is, if I don't only want to buy the map of the Chinese upgrade, and the problem is I can't print. It's not cost effective for me to guess and say, okay, I'm going to print a X number of maps and a separate X number of counters, okay, and hope I can sell both of those. So I would package them all into one update kit. Okay, because it's easier and I'm not taking as much risk on my end. Okay, and that would be so I would say no, you wouldn't be able to pick and choose. Okay, that I want the map but not the updated counters, because I need to make that decision before I go to print how many I'm going to print. I'm just going to print update kits if I go that route.
And I think just a reminder for people here, if you have questions like that, I'd say don't be shy, please. You can reach out to Bill directly at sales@compassgames.com, or from our website. You can click on the talk to me waving icon there at bottom right. So we'd love to hear from you on these questions that you're asking tonight when we're not on the air, because we only do this every 2 weeks. Okay, you're doing it again, Bill. Fine, here we go again. Jesus. So Brian Burkhart, pretty smart guy, because there was Caesar Legions that came after Pharsalus. So I believe that's what happened. Pharsalus became Caesar's Legions. I want to say that. I could be wrong. But anyway, was it that one?
No.
Okay. Well, Thomas is going to take Brian and raise his hand, because Brian's coming back with multiple editions on you here. Bam. Third Reich definitely had multiple editions, even went, into this whole different arena. by another publisher, very complex, big game that's still for sale right now. It's available. So what about, must be Third Reich, right, Bill? It's got to be
No,
Third Reich.
Let's just respond to that. Okay, I couldn't play the original Third Reich when I was a kid. It was complicated. So
Yeah.
Third Reich was why
Me
you
too. I can.
Third
I,
Reich
I, yeah.
have the original version, so I would say that that's enough.
Okay. I don't know if this is about an earlier game or a new design idea. Michael.
Oh, no, I love a game on that. I would pick up a game on that in no time if it was a War of Jenkins ear at regimental level. I'd say yes to that right now.
Oh, another executive decision that cannot go anywhere because we do not have a design for it yet.
Oh, I'm saying if I like the topic.
Perfect. Okay, great question from Michael. So with that there, we've gone over an hour. Obviously, we had a little bit of technical difficulty at the beginning. I apologize for that. So I will, obviously, with the recorded version, will be edited to fix that problem. So again, I'm not going to share my screen, not try that again in case it fails. So just a reminder, as always, to reach out to us. We love spending time with you guys. Every 2 weeks, we're doing this. We'll have another session next week. I'll work on bringing on a designer. So we'll talk to Bill again in 2 weeks. As a reminder, please sign up for our newsletter on our homepage. On the left column, you'll see a yellow box. Please sign up for our newsletter. I'm sure we'll have another newsletter go out next week. Also, on the bottom right, you can ask your question that way, or you can send an email to sales@compassgames.com. Also, a shout out to Mo's Gaming Table. Maurice did. I think he's done quite a bit. I think he did a Russia Besieged Player's Guide review video recently for us. So I want to thank Mo for all the hobby support he provides. Across the board, does a great job. He's also a local neighbor of mine, not far away. So shout out to him as well. So thank you for all that. Oh my gosh, it's happening again. I can't end the episode. Jesus, we're over an hour. The best Ancients game of all time. Oh, now we're getting attitude. So now Jack's more than loose now. He's more than warmed up. So is it Caesar Epic Battle of Alicia? Is that the game? Okay. No. Okay, this one, Keksu is really trying hard over on YouTube. He's really trying. He's had some great questions. This one has not had multiple additions over time. I think that's a no-go. No. Right, Bill?
No.
Okay, what about Eric? Eric here, he's on YouTube. He's pretty smart. There's a lot of different versions of Risk.
Yeah, no.
No? You're just dismissing your...
The beauty is nobody's going to guess this. Okay.
I don't know about that.
No, but even if they guess, I'm not going to say yes.
Well, let's be fair. Because...
Okay, I'll say maybe.
Let's confirm. All of these are definite no's. So we can say you're right. Yeah, these have all been
correct. No, yeah.
Okay.
But if somebody guesses it, I'll say maybe. How about that?
Okay. Yeah, that would be a sort of a tip off, I guess, right? Okay, Bill, I'm going to give you the floor before we sign off, Bill. So any final words you'd like to share with everybody out there who joined our second episode?
I appreciate you guys come and talk to us and ask questions, spend time with us, and hopefully you're having a good time, and hopefully you'll keep showing up because I'm enjoying this, interacting with you guys, and I hope you guys enjoy it as much as I do. So I want to say thank you for all the support. Compass couldn't do without you guys, and we appreciate everything you do for us. And remember, you're the customer, and I appreciate you a lot, every one of you that buys our games. So thank you.
Absolutely, across the board. And then thank you, well said. And then again, in 2 weeks time from today, we'll be joining Bill Thomas again for our third episode of our town hall meeting with the added bonus of a giveaway game during the broadcast. So I do not like to bribe people, but I take that back. I don't mind bribing people. I think it's fun to bring people in for a little raffle giveaway. So we're excited about that. Also, Bill, I'm putting down the gauntlet that says you've already set pace with a theme of a different colored shirt. You've gone white on us. You've gone blue on us. I think I'm going to hold you to it, and I'm going to hold you to a different colored shirt in 2 weeks. I think I'm just going to keep hammering you on that till you start having to go shopping.
No, because you're going to forget I can go back to white.
No. White's out. No. next episode in 2 weeks, we're going to have a different color from you. It's not going to be white. It's not going to
Okay.
be blue. No, sorry. Gauntlet's been thrown down. Challenge.
What I'm going to do, I'm going to tell Carolyn that she can buy any type shirt she wants, color, and I will wear it.
All right.
So
Fair
I might
enough.
come in pink, orange, whatever she decides, and I'll do it.
Okay, wonderful. Hey, thanks everybody. We're going to see you next week with an episode, and then we'll rejoin Bill Thomas in 2 weeks for our third town hall episode. Everybody have a great rest of your week. Have a wonderful weekend. We really appreciate and value all you as customers, and thank you so much for the support. Good night, everybody. Thank you again.
Good night.